Thank you. Hello, hello, everybody. I am Tricia Dycka of The Happy Empath. And I really wanted to talk to all the highly sensitive people out there, the empaths, the people who just feel so much. I wanted to share a little bit about me. I want to share my story just so that you know you're not alone and you're not crazy. Because when my empath gifts grew, I really thought the men in white coats were going to come for me. So it was about 10 years ago, and I woke up, I kid you not, I woke up one day and I didn't feel anything. I remember that morning because I was like, that's odd, and I just started going through the motions. And I started to catch myself being kind of weepy and emotional, and I'm like, what's going on? Like I had no idea. And by November, right before Thanksgiving, the floodgates opened. That pressure cooker just blew open. And all the times during my life where I pushed down emotions, where I didn't want to deal with it, where I didn't want to look at it, and I did not realize what I was feeling was not mine, and I took it on as mine, came flooding to the top. And it was right around the holidays, of course. So I was like hiding. And I felt really bad for my husband too, because I was hysterical. Like I was sobbing uncontrollably. And he would sit with me and he'd be like, what's the matter? And I was like, I don't know. I'm so sad. I'm so depressed. I'm so full of anxiety. I don't know. And it just progressively got worse. It got so bad that he was like, after a couple of months of this, mind you, I mean, it was the holidays, of course. And I think I put a Christmas tree with some lights on it, and that's it. And for me, that's odd. Like I love the house decorated. I love being out with people. I love, I'm a very extroverted empath. And I hid. And if I had to go out, I prayed that I could make it through the night without crying. And I prayed that I would not be a hot mess. And it got worse. And it got worse. And I remember one day, it was in January now. And mind you, during this, I was working in a cubicle, and I literally would go in the bathroom and have silent tears dripping down my face. I hid it from everyone. And again, the only one that really knew was my husband. And I finally said one night, because I looked at myself and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. This is killing me. This is really killing me. And not my brightest or proudest moments, but I said to the universe, I please don't let me wake up in the morning. I can't do this another day. I can't be this mess. I don't understand. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle it. The next morning, I woke up and I said, okay, now what? And that day, I got a Facebook message from a friend of mine who I hadn't spoken to in a while. And she says, I have a message for you. I really need to talk to you tonight. So I said, okay. And I got on the phone with her and she goes, do you realize you're an empath? And I'm like, what? She goes, what's going on? And I told her, and she goes, I'm told to tell you you're an empath. And I remember going, all right, yeah, whatever. So I told my husband the conversation. I went to bed. I just had nothing left to give anybody. I had nothing left to give myself. I had nothing left to give anybody. And he looked it up. He spent hours. That next morning, I woke up. He says, I have the computer on and I have tabs across. I did a lot of research on this. And he goes, and that's you. That is absolutely you. So I was like, really? He goes, yeah. So I remember taking several days and doing the research. And for those of you who just may realize it and you're full of anxiety and you're full of stress and you're having a difficult time, listen, if you need to reach out to a doctor to get an antidepressant, then that's what you got to do so that you can kind of even keel so that you can handle it. I did it. I did it for a couple of months because I couldn't think. I couldn't think clearly. I was so much in my head, so much going on. I couldn't differentiate. Therein lies the problem. I could not differentiate what was mine and what belonged to the rest of the world. And all of these things. So I went on Facebook and I joined a ton of empath groups. And I thought, wow, I'm going to learn. I'm going to figure this out. This is all going to make sense. Yeah. So I went from victim, woe is me, martyrdom. I remember being in these groups, and it was a lot of people just talking about the curse, talking about how being an empath is a curse, how overwhelming, how this, how that. And it was a few months into this, and I remember this one woman. She got on there. Somebody posted something, and I don't recall because now this is going back about 9 years, 9.5 years ago. And she said, I'm really happy and I'm glad I'm an empath. And everybody attacked her. And I just thought, you know what? Why not? So that day I left 90% of the groups and I started to ask the questions. What do I do? What do I need to do to be happy? How can I start to understand what energy is mine, what's not? How can I take care of myself? And it was like the universe, I think, was waiting for this. And it was like, bam, bam, bam. So one of the tools I'm going to be sharing several with you guys in this class, because I want you to be able to walk away, use them, and really, start learning your energy. One of the things was what I call my empath symbol. And mine's a bear. So basically what an empath symbol is you pick something. It can be an animal, a mammal, a fish, instruments, flowers, places, colors, something that you like. You don't have to put a lot of thought into it. I just happen to like large animals. And that is why I ended up with a bear. And what I did was I would ground my energy in the morning, and we'll go back to that in a second. And then I would ask the universe to show me my bear when what I was feeling did not belong to me. And in the first few months, 95% of the time, I was picking up stuff that belonged to other people. And I was floored. And there was one time I was going into Best Buy, and my husband knew about the empath symbol, and he saw my anxiety levels starting to rise. And we walked into the store, and he said to me, look, on every single TV, there was a bear. And because I did not trust myself, I said to the universe, well, prove it to me. This woman walks right in front of me talking about lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. And I'm like, all right, drop the mic. All right, here we go. And I got bears through emails. I got bears through Messenger. I got bears on social media. I got pictures of bears in cars in front of me. One time there was a license plate that said bear with me on the TV guide, magazines I would order, or if I would be doing something, all of a sudden I would get a flash in my third eye of a bear, or I would actually hear the growling of a bear. So if you are open to receive, the universe is very inventive in giving you your empath symbol. The universe wants you to understand what's going on. This is a gift not meant to torment you. And it took me a while to realize that. So we need to manage our energy. We need to pay attention to what is ours and what is not ours. So if you don't know your energy, this is a great tool to figure it out. I'm even going to share with you last night, when I get myself where I'm on that hamster wheel and I'm kind of doing a lot and I'm not paying attention, I get caught up. And that's when I tend to receive more emotions without realizing it because I'm not paying attention. So I went in the kitchen for something, the TV was on, and it was a pizza commercial. Next thing I know, I hear bears growling, and I turn around, and on TV are two bears. And I started to laugh. I go, okay. And I had to stop, breathe, and be present. Because when we're not present to our emotions, we tend to pick up more. And that was the universe's way of saying to me, stop, step back, take a breath, check in with your body. Because we're a society where we're constantly running and rushing and doing, and we're never being. It's a rarity that we're being. And that took me a long time to stop the push through, and step back to be. And I still catch myself trying to rush or push through things. And those are the times I pick up more. So this empath symbol is actually really great. And I've been using this now for 10 years. And the more you use it, the more you will actually start to recognize spots in your body where you've picked something up. Like, I now know there's a spot in my stomach. And when that gets tight and tense and feels like knots, I go, oh, what am I not paying attention to here? What is going on? Now, we could feel things from individuals that you know or do not know. You could feel things on a collective basis. And I'm sure quarantine was huge. This pandemic's been huge. All the stuff that's going on is actually beating down on empaths out there. So being really, really aware of that is very important for you. And when I say ground your energy, like I have a little thing in the morning for myself where I ground my energy. It's just a little visualization for myself. If you've never grounded, go outside, put your feet in the grass, hug a tree. And sometimes if it's like kind of nasty out, what you could do is put on something on YouTube. Like, I love to hang out in my office and I'll watch YouTube. I'll watch a fireplace. I'll watch some kind of nature scene to ground my energy. And it feels really good. And something I love to share is my grounding bowl. It's filled with sand. It's just a bowl. It's filled with sand. It's got some shells and it has some crystals in it. So when I'm on the phone with clients or I'm doing something, I could just play with the sand. I mean, you could take a little bowl from your house, go down to the beach, get some sand, or go outside and put some dirt in there, and just be able to ground your energy. It's just so easy to manage the overwhelm. And I'm going to tell you, the happier you are within, the easier these emotions flow through you. So another thing to manage your energy is, believe it or not, saying no. As empaths, we're notorious people pleasers. We want to say yes to everyone. And we end up depleting ourselves. You see, we need to manage our energy. We need to protect our energy. And when I say protect, I'm talking about our time. I'm talking about our energy. I am talking about our bodies. We need to pay attention to us. There's lots of self-care. And if possible, if you could do, like, let's say you don't have the time, because I've had my clients say to me, I don't really have the time. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, and 5 minutes at night. You can find that time. And you can just sit down and allow everything to let go. And you can ground your energy and you can clear out anything you may have picked up. I love, one of the things in my morning journals is having a cup of coffee and kind of setting my day up. And it doesn't have to be long, because I know that there are people who say you have to write 3 or 4 pages or you have to spend a half hour doing this. And then what happens is we tend to start off and then we're like, I don't want to do it because it's too time consuming, or it doesn't make me laugh or have fun doing it. So the purpose of creating our own rituals is so that we're engaged with them, so that we set our day up well. We set our day up with actionable items we really want to do, instead of saying yes to the damn world. Because when we say yes to the damn world, we're saying no to ourselves. It took me a long time to know that, because I was the biggest yes girl out there. I would get phone calls all the time. Can you do this? Can you help me with that? What about this? And when I started my business, I said yes to everything. I'm like, oh, I got to be out there. I got to do. And what happens is we deplete ourselves. And when we deplete ourselves, we tend to try to withdraw. And we can't withdraw because of all the yeses we've said. So now we have to push through. And that is such a thing that society says, you got to put yourself last. Everyone else is in front of you. No. Self-care is so important. Self-care is, to me, accepting yourself in every single moment and allowing those emotions to flow through you, allowing yourself to feel this, being okay with where you are at in every moment. And I had my clients come to me, I'm not really doing well today, and I don't see my symbol anywhere. And I'm sorry, we have our own stuff we have to deal with too. So if you're using a symbol and you don't see it, the question then becomes, what of yours is coming up to be felt and seen and let go of? You see, because when we become overwhelmed, our minds will take over, and our minds create stories to explain away that emotion. It used to happen to me all the time. I'd be like, I would be thinking of a fight I had with somebody, I don't know, 20 years ago, and trying to rewrite it in my brain. Or I would be thinking about the future, something that's going on, or it would be like this constant chaos because I'd be like, why am I feeling sad? Or why am I feeling angry? Or why am I depressed? But the other side of this is you never question when you're happy, you're excited, you're joyful. And those are the other emotions that we pick up that may not be ours. I remember being really excited one day and I saw my bear. I'm like, but it didn't matter. I still was so thrilled that I was so excited for whomever emotions I had picked up that day. It was exciting. So pay attention to the emotions. Pay attention to what we are saying within our minds, because our mindset is really, really big for empaths. If we go down to, I'm totally overwhelmed, I'm overwhelmed every day, life sucks, being an empath is a curse, we're saying to the universe, I want more of this because this is what I'm afraid of. So pay attention to that. I had to shift my mindset to go from everything is a curse to this is a gift. And it was not there it is. No, it was a process. It was, well, what is in the gift of this? And I realized, for me, being out in the world, and people would come up to me and have these conversations with me. And I would be like, oh my God, I love hearing their life stories. And some of them were not always, pleasant to listen to, but they walked away and they would always say to me, I don't know why I just told you that, but I'm so grateful that I did. I was in the bottle return several years ago, and it was packed. My husband and I are doing, we were, I don't know, cans and whatever. And this woman just walks right in, and there was a line waiting behind us. And she says, I really need to tell you this. And I stopped and I looked at her, and she tells me this really horrific story. She touches my arm. She goes, I saw you when I came out of the supermarket, and I knew I needed to talk to you. And I knew I needed to tell you this. She goes, and I feel better. She's like, thank you. She walked out. The whole place had stopped, and my husband said to me, he goes, this happens to you all the time. And I felt good that I was able to alleviate some of her pain just by validating her, just by listening to her, just by making her feel heard. And all of that flew right through me. And the universe and the earth cleared it. I did not. It came through me, but they cleared it. So I started to look at the positives within this. I started to realize there was a depth to this gift that you can understand people at a whole new level. You can understand the world at a whole new level because we pick things up collectively. We pick things up from the earth. How many of you have felt anxious, or you felt something was coming and you didn't know? And then there would be some kind of volcanic eruption, earthquake, fire, and you're like, oh my God. So you're starting to connect the dots. As empaths, we pick things up, everywhere. The earth, social media is huge. Hence, we're going to go back to that because of boundaries. Books, TV, and trying to think, like, just so many different ways. You could actually have a conversation with somebody, and you can tell when they're lying to you, but also when they're lying to themselves because they're not ready. That's great when I work with my clients because I could see, all right, they've got a block, but they're not quite ready to look at that block yet. So you could use this and so this gift in many ways. You can help people in many ways, but we're not here to fix people and we're not here to people please. We're really not. And boundaries come in that by saying no. And if we're not sure, like for me, my sensitivity was considered a problem growing up because I would always tell, oh, I feel like this is happening, or I don't really like that person, and I would be told, stop being so sensitive, stop crying, stop, and I would be told that my intuition was wrong. My feelings were wrong. They're incorrect, or go give that person another chance. And I did. And every time I didn't work out for me. But yet my intuition was wrong. Everybody else told me, my parents, my teachers, my friends, stop it, stop it, stop it. So that all got put a lid on. So 10 years ago, I was like, I have to start trusting myself again. And that's really big for empaths because if we're told we're too sensitive, you need to start trusting yourself, leaning into it, listening to that inner guide, that higher self, if you will, telling you or guiding you to do things. And I'll share, we were in quarantine and I had somebody approach me to get on a Facebook Live. And I said, okay, sure. No, I'm sorry. It was a chat. It ended up being a Facebook Live with like 20 other people. And I was floored. And I was cracking up because that morning I'd taken a shower. It was a Sunday morning. And I put on hot pink pajamas. We're not going anywhere. We were locked down. And I'm on a Facebook Live with 20 other people. I giggled. So this individual wanted to do a meditation. And I would not close my eyes. Every time I closed them, they just automatically opened. And I says, all right, something's not right. And I listened to the meditation. And then I started to feel the energy. And I kept hearing, leave, leave. And I just went, oh, and I did. I stopped second guessing myself and started to trust. There was a reason I was not meant to be there, and that was okay. So the individual came to me and said, why did you leave? What happened? And I just said, listen, this is not for me, and that's okay. And we're both on different paths. So, and it was fine, but I honored myself. I trusted my intuition and I moved on. So when you hear something that may not make sense to you, and normally you would push through, making yourself uncomfortable, or you feel that anxiety or that I really want to go and that tenseness in your body, that's a telltale sign that you are somewhere that you really aren't meant to be, that your intuition is telling you to leave, not do it, not get involved in it. So that's really big for you. And if you really are not trusting yourself, simple, easy way is either use a pendulum, which I've definitely done, or ask yourself yes and no questions that you already know the answer to. Like, my name is Tricia, and feel into how your body is open and expansive. And then my name is, and make up a name. And all of a sudden you'll feel like your body is kind of like it's contracting, and you'll feel like in a spot or two where it's saying that's not the truth. And then you could do it with your age, or you could do it with your kids, or things that you know without a doubt are true, and then things that you know without a doubt are not. So you could feel into it. I remember when I first started doing this, I was on my way to work, and I'm at a light, and I got my left blinker on, and I hear, because sometimes you're going to hear the words too, go right. And I'm going to go left because that's the highway, and it'll get me to work, like just like that. 25 minutes later for a 5-minute drive, there was an accident. So I cracked up and I said, okay, I did not pay attention. I gotcha. And the other thing is, when we don't pay attention, don't beat yourself up for it. Allow it to be. It's just an experience. It's just something that you're learning. And say, right, next time I'm going to listen to that inner guidance, that voice, that feeling, instead of the logical brain, which is telling me to go that way. Because listening to the logical brain, there's a disconnect, especially if you were like me and were told you're too sensitive. You're ignore your intuition. You're not right. And there's only so many times as a kid that we create those repetitive patterns in our brain. And that is the story that we'll go back to over and over. So this is about retraining our brains to create new neural pathways and creating a new mindset, saying, yes, I'm going to listen to my intuition. Yes, I understand my energy. Creating these new beliefs for ourselves as an empath so that we can manage our time better, we can manage our energy better, and we can be happier. So these are all, and again, I'm all about quick and easy because I want to get back to my life. I don't want to be stuck like a deer in the headlights going, oh my God, it's this emotion mind, or oh my God, what's going on? Boundaries are really important. Clearing your energy is really important. Staying grounded is really important. So these are things that you need to do for yourself daily, being consistent. I had a client come to me and she said, I'm totally depleted at the end of the day. So I said, okay, let's go over your day. What happened? And literally, she told me her day. She had zero time for herself. She gave herself nothing. I said, so where in here did you honor yourself? Did you give yourself a break? Did you have yourself a nice lunch? When did you have the time to go to the bathroom? And it was dead silence. So if you find that you have zero time for yourself at all, you need to incorporate moments. If you're working with clients, give yourself 15 minutes, a half hour between each client. Clear that energy off. Another easy tool I call the heart-centered intention. And you're grounded, and then you open up your heart center and you have a gentle breeze constantly going through it, clearing out anything that does not belong to you. Easy. You can use it as your morning ritual, your morning routine. And then if you catch yourself during the day being so overwhelmed, use it. Clear anything that does not belong to me. Ask for help. It's like we're taught not to ask for help. And I remember going to the universe going, I'm done. I'm tired. I don't feel good today. I'm overwhelmed. And I went to work like that. And this is about 5-6 years ago. And I remember being like, I can't do this anymore. And I felt lighter. I was like, oh my God, ask. We don't even ask for help. So that's another, again, quick and easy tool to do. So I know that we're getting to the end of our time, and I hope that I have given you a lot of information and a lot of tools for you to do. And one of the things that I always tell everybody is anything within here, if it resonates with you, use. Take it, tweak it, make it your own. Create things that are going to be done consistently that you're going to enjoy doing. And if it gets boring, change it up. Do something different. People are like, I'm bored now. Okay, so let's change it up. What other tools can we use in the morning or use during the day that will make you laugh, make you enjoy yourself? Because again, laughter helps clear energy. Believe it or not, laughter helps clear energy. You want to have a positive environment. You want to laugh all the time. And part of being and having a positive environment is clearing up social media and clearing up friends in your life and clearing up what you're willing to tolerate from your clients and from your family members. So what type of environment do you want to have? You want it to be supportive, and you want to enjoy your life. You want to, so that by the end of the day that you're done, you have energy for yourself. You have energy to do what you want to do and be totally engaged in your life. You want to succeed. You want to be happy. We all do. So it's important to make sure that we've got tools that help us clear things, help us move things, create a fun environment so that by the end of the day, we're not depleted and saying, oh my God, I'm just going to go home and watch a movie, or I'm just going to go home and crash or I'm done with my clients and, I'm going to go sit on the couch and, you've got friends who want to go out, or, your significant other wants to go out to dinner and you're like, I just can't. That's not okay. Do things that you're engaged in. Do things so that you are taking care of and managing your energy. And remember, saying no is a full sentence. That's it. No, no, thank you. Or if somebody asks you to do something and you're not 100% sure, let me get back to you. Let me think about it instead of rushing to a yes or no answer because you're feeling pressured. I did that. I said yes to a project and I was like, oh my God, this is not really the project I want to do. And I remember having to go back to that person because it was really in-depth detailed, going into New York City, dealing with a lot of people. And I said, I'm sorry I said yes to you. However, I don't think I would be able to give it my all, and that's not fair to you or me. And they were really appreciative that I was able to come and say that. So now, whenever I get something that seems really great, I'm like, let me think about it first, because I want to make sure I can give it my all. I want to be able to say yes and be like, yes, I'm all in. Or when you say no, you don't feel guilty about saying no, because in essence, you're saying yes to yourself and whatever it is that you want to do. So I just want to leave you with one more thing. The happier, and I said it earlier, the happier you are within, the easier emotions flow through you. So take care of yourself first. What makes you happy? Sometimes we think it's such an easy question, but we're like, what really makes us happy? And then we got to kind of peel back those layers to see what's going on. So if you have any questions whatsoever, you can definitely find me on social media at Tricia Dycka. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and I know there is also a link if you want to download my free offer, and you can go to my website.